for Thursday, August 6, 2020. This is the Pro and Con Show, and I'm your host, Michael James Hott. As always, welcome to the show. So today's show, I'm going to talk about, it's entitled Stranded, and we're going to tell you what that means here in a minute. But just a couple of seconds about, we've got to be better citizens. And that's the main purpose of this show, is to talk to people about being better citizens, to open our eyes and our ears and, our mouths, but, talking to other people, not yelling and screaming at them and yelling profanities at them, but talking to them about, okay, you have these strong feelings about this particular issue. Tell me. I want to tell you how I got to where I'm at. Okay, the walk in life that took me, my path that got me to where I'm at. Please tell me your path. How did you get where you are? And you're going to find that there's a tremendous amount of overlap in what people really ultimately believe and think when they take the time to fully understand the issues, the pro and the con, the good and the bad, the for and against. So again, I mentioned earlier that today's show is called Stranded. And the reason that it occurred to me is I was, as you go through and I read different websites, right? So again, these are sources of information. So Huffington Post, CNN, NPR, Fox News, and Breitbart. And I periodically look at them, and I look at some of the articles in them and try to compare how they're dealing or treating some of the information, the news, so-called news stories. Although again, all of those, with the exception of maybe NPR, have a tendency to inject a fair amount of opinion. So they'll state a few facts and then they'll inject a whole bunch of opinion on top of it, which again, I've told you many times. That's why even though like CNN, the cable news network, or Fox News, even though they call themselves news, they're not. They're a huge. Only a tiny sliver of what they present is actual news, factual stuff like who, what, where, and when, and the vast majority of it is opinion, commentary about those facts, and it's presented as news, and it isn't. Okay, and you have to open your eyes, open your ears, and think and realize that those things are true. Okay. But anyway, I was going through and looking at these different information sources. And one of the things that I saw was this story about some mariners, just a few people I believe on a sailboat, but maybe anyway, on a small boat. And they were stranded. And so these stranded mariners were rescued from an island in Micronesia. Okay. And they did the standard thing here. They got stuck on this island. And so they made as big an SOS sign as they could in the sand on the beach. And let me just read you here. So the 3-person crew of a skiff that had not been heard from since July 29th, and they were formally reported missing on July 31st. The mariners were sailing on a 23-mile journey from Palawan to Polap. These are 2 atolls in the federal states of Micronesia in the Pacific, and they sailed off course and they ran out of fuel. Well, Australian and U.S. military aircraft finally located the castaways on the beach of an island called Pikelot, I guess. Anyway, it's Pikelot. I'm not sure how to pronounce it exactly. Pikelot? Unsure. And so the U.S. Coast Guard says, we were toward the end of our search pattern and returned to avoid some rain showers. And that's when we looked down, we saw an island, and we decided to check it out, and we saw the SOS on the beach. Okay? And they stopped and they helped these people. The reason why I particularly want to bring this story up is you read stories like this all the time. And it's about humans doing socially responsible things for other humans. In other words, all of us at some point in our lives need a helping hand. And that's one of the things that I think is a failure in many of us anyway, is that we tend to forget that. We tend to forget, especially if we've been living in a place where we haven't needed any help ourselves for an extended period of time. We tend to get this self-righteous, I don't need help. I haven't needed help for years and years and years. I don't need help. Therefore, these programs that provide help to people, I don't want to fund them. You see? And the reality is that we all, from time to time, need help. Now, I don't have any problem at all with people talking about these programs that help other people, and periodically talking about them. And can we do them better? Can we make them more efficient, more effective? Can we help those same people in a different way that would be better than the current way that we're doing it? These are the kinds of things that we should talk about on a regular basis. And in fact, if we didn't have the political parties, and if we didn't have these individual representatives in our government that were constantly trying to self-promote themselves, we would have I don't know what you would call it, the socially responsible month or something, or the social program month. Or maybe we divide it into different parts, just like food stamp month or preventing hunger month or something like that. Let's just talk about hunger, food stamps, those kinds of programs. So then, instead of somebody just proclaiming, some representative or some senator or even the president of the United States proclaiming that they have the answer, I have the answer, I wrote the damn bill, here, do this. Okay, they do that in a vacuum. The rest of us are like, well, how do we know that that's the answer? And it's horrific the way we do things. So instead, as I've said many times in the past, we have the Prevent Hunger in America month, and we talk about why people go hungry, and the potential ways that and should we even do anything about it. We can talk about that. I don't have a problem with talking about should we do something about whether people go hungry or not. We should talk about all these things. How does it happen? Who does it happen to? What are the current programs that try to prevent it? What sort of systems are in place? And then again, as we've talked about, and different people have different visions. So we'd say, okay, you go ahead and tell us your version of this, and we'll listen to the opposing views and stuff like that. And step by step, we'll get pro and con, good and bad, for and against. And then, okay, what do we like about what's happening? What things seem to be working good? What do we like? What things are not good? And what don't we like? And how do we mitigate them? And you get a bunch of ideas. And then we talk about, how much they cost and how hard are they to implement. And step by step over the course of a month, I guarantee you, we would end up with very good concept of the entire issue, and what's currently being done, and then how we would go about moving forward in a better way. Okay? But all of it comes from the fact that we are a social network, and no man is an island. Literally, see? Okay? No man is an island. And so periodically, all of us, and it's happened to me a handful of times in my life. I mean, just think about, I had a kidney stone a couple of months ago, and I had never had one before, and oh my God, did it hurt and stuff like that. Well, guess what? I could go to a doctor. I could go see somebody and get help. And yeah, I had to pay some for clinic bills, and I had to pay some for insurance or whatever, but thank God there was a doctor, someone that I could go talk to that could help me, because we are not self-sufficient. Okay? We exist and thrive in a social network, and in that social network, we need periodically some support in some way, shape, or form. And to all of you out there that periodically, turn your noses up to those kinds of social support programs, I don't have a problem with you wanting to talk about, can we do them better, or is there a different way, or should they exist in their certain set or whatever, but they're very often just not even the first allowance that these things should exist. And that is problematic, and that is short-sighted, and that is, frankly, ignorant. It's not. You just have to open your eyes, open your ears, and understand we as individuals need support from time to time, just like these mariners in Micronesia. All right, so for the Pro and Con Show, I am Michael James Ott, and until the next show, bye for now.